Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings, 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
So this is a general council meeting. This is a normal practice here in KMC. I just want, since for the first time we have such public interest, I just want to lay some of the ground rules. In a general council meeting, only councillors are allowed to speak unless I, the mayor, invite a guest speaker to speak. So members of the press are not allowed to ask questions until the meeting is concluded, and maybe a press conference and some questions can be taken after. But during the general council, members who are here are the only ones allowed to speak, and this is the councillors. The rules have always applied for the directors and any guests that are invited, but it is very normal that members of the press are also invited to general council meetings to observe and also to see what the council is discussing. Now, these are the ground rules. I'm going to start the general council with prayers. Unfortunately, there's no pre-arranged agenda, because this is an emergency general council called because of the events that occurred this morning. So I would like to open this session with prayers. All right, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Honorable councillors, directors, members of the press, guests here, we have called this general council meeting today as an emergency general council because at exactly 7 a.m. this morning, I came to work as usual and I found 2 pickup trucks full of paramilitary officers here at our door. I did my normal salute with my municipal police officers, and I asked the Commissioner of Police what is the meaning of this and why are the police intervention unit here in their tactical gear. And he told me, according to the commander in charge, they had received executive directives to forcefully install the CEO in her office. And I think this is what has prompted this General Council meeting and has prompted many guests to visit us today to ascertain the facts and find out exactly what is going on. Now, before I pass the floor to the General Council for discussion and debate, I have a few important guests that I would like to introduce who would also like to give short speeches of advice and guidance to the General Council. With us here, we have the Gambia Bar Association President, Mr. Saliu Tal. We also have here the President of Tango, which is the association of all NGOs in the Gambia, Mr. John Charles Njai. We have here our very own President, the Gambia Association of Local Government Authorities President, and the Chairman of Mansakonko Area Council, Mr. Landing B. Sane, and the Vice Chairman of the Gambia Association of Local Government Authorities, and the Chairman of the Basse Area Council, Mr. Fode Danjo. We also have the President of the Staff Welfare Association, Mr. Modunjai, who was recently elected in their Congress on Sunday. So these are the guests we have here, citizens of Gambia and citizens who are concerned with what they have seen and would like to talk to all parties. Therefore, without further ado, I invite the President of Galga, Mr. Landing B. Sane, to address the Council. Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First, let me thank our Lord Mayor Talib Ahmad Bensouda, for giving us this opportunity to make a statement here on behalf of the family of local government authorities of this country, the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings from the Association of Local Government Authorities of the Gambia, GALGA, and I also say Assalamu alaikum, peaceful greetings in Islam to all of you. We know we are compelled, probably in that word I can mention, to meet here this afternoon based on the prevailing circumstances or issues that are unfolding. And this is no news to all of us. But in particular, that happened this morning. My mission here with my team is basically linked to the issues that are happening at KMC these days, precisely linking it up to the corruption scandal that involved the CEO and some other staff, in which case the ministry and the council are also at probably at a deadlock on some administrative matters or procedural issues. We are here this morning because we heard of the latest development that involved security forces coming to the council. That actually hastened our coming here, and that also prompted us to address this meeting. But behind doors or behind, we have been working with all the parties involved, of course, including the CEO, the Lord Mayor, and also the ministry on how we bring the tension down and have procedures, processes, and also the law take its right course in addressing the matter, without, of course, giving unnecessary ping-pong either on the social media or on other medium. We have been conducting those processes with the parties involved. But this address to you this morning, this afternoon, is basically to seek from all of us that we exercise patience, that we display total decorum to make sure that there is no further, probably, if I could say, violence or whatever that may be linked to such that may not be in line with the law or with the administrative powers that are given to all of us. We are all citizens of this country, and in particular, we are all from KMC. I'm referring now to the councillors. Let me assure you that we are working with all of you. We are not taking side to say who does what is right or who does what is wrong. But we are taking responsibility to work with all of us as a family to make sure that we amicably go through the processes that are required to come to the very end of this peacefully. So I ask all of us to assume our responsibilities responsibly and make sure that we exercise it within the confines of the powers and the law that protect all of us. This is what we have been telling all the parties involved. Our interest is that when there are problems within the family, we reconvene or we convene and deal with the issues maturely, in line with the law and also in line with the procedures. This issue is not an issue that cannot be addressed, particularly within the ministry. I have the belief that we have the capacity, we have the wherewithal, and the will should be there for us to look at each other on the face and address each other and address the issue maturely. Of course, unfortunately, we had a scenario this morning, and we will not overlook it, but we will take it as another occurrence to see how we address this situation so that it doesn't go out of hand. Because otherwise, if it goes out of hand, that may not be to the interest of any of us. We have a country to build, and we have a country that all of us should have interest to make sure is secured and is also protected for today and for tomorrow. So that is the spirit of which I am seated here with my team to talk to all of us to make sure that we keep the peace and we treat the matter maturely. We will use the same opportunity to talk to other parties involved, our own ministry, and the CEO also as well, to make sure that we do not miss or malhandle this situation that may go wrong for the interest of this country. So on that note, I want to thank you very much for your kind attention. I wish we all have, we all consume this information well, and we act appropriately for the interest of our municipality and for the interest of our country. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you.
Lord Mayor, good afternoon, councillors, good afternoon, members of the press, good afternoon, my colleague John, and all members here present. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Lord Mayor for inviting us to speak to the council today on a matter of national importance. Let me say that this morning I woke up to the news that there were paramilitary or PIU police at the KMC, purportedly on the instructions, purportedly I would say, on the instructions of the executive on a matter that was being dealt with by the competent authorities, that is the KMC internally, and the Ministry of Interior. As the President of the Bar and a member of civil society, I took it upon myself to engage my colleague, John Charles Njai, as head of Tango. I also called upon the Minister of Justice. I also called upon the Minister of Lands. So, in line with our duty as civil society, we thought it important to get all the facts, ascertain the facts and the information, and do our utmost to contribute to resolving the process in the interest of ensuring accountability, respect for rule of law, and good governance. Our first port of call was to the minister in the morning, and he, on short notice, he gave us audience. And in our engagements with the minister, we raised the issue of the PIU, primarily and other issues. And he informed us that it was not his instruction or the executive's instructions to deploy the PIU. Notwithstanding, we reminded and advised the minister that whatever dispute there may be in terms of who has what power between the KMC, the Public Service Commission, and the Council, that matter should be resolved in accordance with law and due process. And for us, that is our concern. He informed us that they will continue to engage KMC on the basis of the powers vested in them under the Local Government Act as amended. We left the minister's office and came to visit the mayor and council. We also reiterated our concerns. Thankfully, when we came, we did not find any PIU, which was a sigh of relief. We gathered that the tension has escalated, so we also expressed our concerns that we as civil society, we have been keenly following this issue, but we cannot make any comments or discuss the issue until we have all the facts and information. But all the facts that are in the public domain, we are actually seized of these facts and we've been looking at it. So we also sought the views and perspective of the mayor, and he gave us a very detailed explanation of his position and the council position, and also provided us with documentation, and also gave us, said that maybe perhaps we should extend an invitation for us to address the council. So for us, it is really a privilege and an honor, and I think it's probably the first time it's ever happened. And I think it is also a testimony to where we are as a country in our democracy. Here we have a council meeting, we're invited to talk to the council, and we have the press here present. I think these are all positive steps for democracy. In a democracy, especially moving from a dictatorship and transitioning to a full-fledged democracy, we are going to have differences. Even how you interpret the law, there'll be differences. It is not up to me, Fatou, to say who is right or wrong under the law, because that is the job of the court. But I would like to appeal to all parties, that is the ministry, the council, and the mayor, in resolving differences and disputes, to do so with decorum and respect and in accordance with the law. And I think that is what we expect in a new Gambia. That is why we are even standing here having this discussion. In the Gambia before, this discussion would not have happened. In the Gambia before, the PIU would have taken over KMC. But I think the fact that cool heads have prevailed and all parties are guided by their wisdom and conscience and supreme interest of the Gambian people to look at the issues with objectivity and advise themselves accordingly and be guided by the law. All parties involved must be accorded due process on all sides. The inspectors have a right to come and inspect, and in doing so, they must also do so in accordance with the law. The aggrieved parties also have a right to be interviewed and given access for the purpose of the interview. And the aggrieved parties, on all sides, anybody who believes that perhaps your rights are violated, there's a place to go to resolve that dispute. That is the court of law. So I'm not advising that anybody should go to court or not. I'm just saying that when we have our disputes in a democracy, we don't use the force of law, the brute force, to resolve our disputes. We use our good conscience and we use the law. I think what I've seen I like, because when I came here, the police did not force themselves to go in. I think after a conversation ensued from my information, they backed down, and I guess they will learn from the experience. When we spoke to the executive, the people we spoke in the executive, they informed us, in good faith, I believe, that they did not give the instructions. So that means that that's what they told us. And today, the mayor and his team have given us the information that they have, and I believe that you will continue with your investigation, looking at all facts impartially, and then hopefully in the process we ensure that there's accountability, there's due process, and there's respect for law. Whatever the outcome of the process, I think all parties will respect. And I really thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I think in a democracy, we must continue to talk and iron out our differences with civility and decorum and respect. On that note, I thank you all.
Honorable Councillors, President of the Gambia Bar Association, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I walked into this place and the first thing that was on my mind is that Gambia is really moving forward. Maybe at a slow pace, but we are moving forward. And that is evidenced by the presence of all these people representing the media. And I told my colleague that we have a very dynamic media. Sometimes we are so negative and so harsh on ourselves. But democracy is a difficult and a messy process. And Gambians, we must be a little more patient if our democracy is going to work for us. Let me first and foremost commend the municipality, because I am a resident of this municipality and I see the change. I see the dynamism of this leadership, and you must be commended and saluted for the good work you are doing. We know more can be done, and we as citizens of and residents of this municipality must make sure we do what is right by us so that you could do your work. So kudos to you for a job well done. The fight against corruption must be a fight that every Gambian must take seriously. And as civil society, we stand with anyone and anybody and any organization or any group that stands to fight against corruption. Corruption must not be encouraged in any way and in any form. Our position is, and all this time we have been having internal discussions amongst ourselves, let's ensure that the rule of law is followed to the letter. Let us ensure that we know the facts, what does the law say, and then we can move forward in advocating that the right thing is done. As the president of the Bar Association has said, we have the law on our side. We are no longer under tyranny, and if we as Gambians have defeated tyranny, then that shows our resilience as a people, and we can defeat corruption in this country. As far as the investigations are concerned, we want to appeal to every party to ensure that they comply with the investigations. Let due process take its rightful course. Let every party have cause for redress. And indeed, together, we will be able to move forward as a nation. As civil society, we stand to again reiterate our call that we must look again into our laws and ensure that our laws are working for the people. The decentralization of municipal councils, the local government authority, I think it's high time we begin to have a serious national discourse on the decentralization process that was underway some years ago. We must begin to look at this again so that we will be able to avoid these sorts of conflicts between the municipal governments and the national government. We as a people and we as civil society stand with you as a municipality, stand with the nation, and stand to complement the efforts of government to ensure that good governance, the rule of law, is what we as a nation can be proud of. With this, ladies and gentlemen, Lord Mayor, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to council and to speak to the nation. This is a difficult year, but Gambians, we can work together and make the best for our country. Political divisions must not cause a national division. We could be diversified in our ideas, in our political affiliations, but we are still one people and we have one nation. Let's not destroy what is working and has been working for us, our peace and our unity. Let's work together as one people. Just like you have a council of diverse people from diverse political persuasions, from diverse religious and ethnic considerations, but you work together to ensure that the municipality works for us and is moving forward. So I call on all Gambians, let's work together. Our differences should not divide us. They should complement each other and make us a better people and a better nation. We wish you well, and we are following the developments, and as civil society, we will always speak when we have to speak. God bless you, God bless the municipality, and God bless our beautiful country, the Republic of the Gambia.
The Lord Mayor, Kanifing Municipal Council, Deputy Mayors, Honorable Councillors here present, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Kanifing Municipal Council, Directors here present, members of the press, Clerk of Council, staffs of Council, members of the public, good afternoon to you all. It is disheartening to say that since the inception or the beginning of this crisis, staffs of the Kanifing Municipal Council has been mentioned on several occasions. We have never and ever responded to any word in relation to our names being mentioned. Today, as staffs of council, we reported this morning, we saw 2 PIU pickups with their officers in their full gears. Having realized that as the president of the KMC Staff Welfare Association, I called for an emergency meeting with my executive. Purpose being that we are entrusted with the responsibility of these staffs of this council. Having had a short meeting, we all concluded to go on a sit-down strike based on certain reasons. One is that our lives are in danger, and we believe that whichever authority should have sent the PIU officers to the Kanifing Municipal Council should have used another means or mechanism as stated by the Local Government Act to proceed with the council's decision by not receiving their decision and not to send the PIU officers to the council. 2, during our annual Congress or the Congress held on Saturday, though the treasurer of the outgoing committee of the Staff Welfare Association was not present, there were financial statements that were presented before us and is in relation to the $12 million loan being acquired in the name of the staff welfare. And at this juncture, I want to make this point very clear, that this $12 million loan was never, and I repeat, was never acquired in the name of the KMC Staff Welfare Association. Reason being, there are procedures clearly stated in the KMC Staff Welfare Association's constitution when the committee or the executive or the members should go for loan acquisition. This was never done. It was never followed. And out of a 14 or 15-man member committee, it was only 3 people by the names Mr. Bakari Jao, Mr. Mankaba Bas, the vice president, and the treasurer, who knew that they were working on loan transaction on behalf of the KMC staff welfare without their prior knowledge. So our position as staffs, we are saying that these loans were never and ever acquired in our names. According to the financial statement being received from the Finance Department of Council, that since 2014 to date, the total amount transferred in our account amounts to 9 million plus. As of May 31st, the total amount in our account is 17,000 plus, which is very disheartening. Again, there are laws or there are clauses in the constitution of the KMC Staff Welfare Association which clearly indicate who is entitled to a loan. We have seen from the bank statements that the chief executive officer have acquired a loan of $50,000 from the KMC welfare account, 25,000 from Ajib and 25,000 from Trust Bank. And her total contribution since she joined the council is $700. It's very disheartening to say that those who were paying or contributing or being deducted from their salaries from the past 10, 20 years have never enjoyed $1,000 in loan. Very disheartening. Our position as staffs, we are saying the General Council resolution that was unanimously passed was passed in the interest and safeguard of the staffs of council and nothing else. Our position is, let the CEO and co go back to the air and clear it that this loan was never and ever acquired in our names. 1. 2, the loan that was given to her and is not being serviced be paid back. And to be honest, the hard fact is the staffs of council have lost total confidence. I mean total confidence in working with the chief executive officer. Reason being, 1, our names were submitted to the bank, 37 senior staffs of these councils without their consent. Their monthly salaries were given to the bank. Monthly deductions, they are given to the bank without their consent. And out of these 37 staffs, 3 of them are no longer with the council. One by the name Iliman Kerr, Fatou Saho, and Ibrahim Fofana. So on that note, we are making our position very clear that we have lost total confidence in working with her. Our monies will be paid. The incoming committee will sit very soon and write to the external auditors to come and audit, and we will also write to the outgoing committee to do their handing over immediately. We will apologize for any inconveniences that have been caused today, but it's due to the fact that we are citizens of this KMC and we want the good name of council to continue. Thank you very much.
The Lord Mayor, KMC, councillors, respected citizens of KMC, and other Gambians. Good afternoon to you all. I am here this early afternoon at my own choice and on my own volition, foremost as a key stakeholder and a resident of KMC, and among the leaders of the country. I am here in order to express my support for the residents of KMC through the Lord Mayor and the councillors. I have a stake in what is happening here. As I said, I am a resident, but I also have another obligation, which is I'm among the political leaders of this country. I believe that it is a failure of governance which is responsible for what we experience today. But it has been a process which culminated in what happened today. We have observed very keenly the tremendous transformation that took place within KMC over the past 5 years under the eminent leadership of His Lordship, Mayor Talib Bensouda, one of the youngest brilliant minds of this country, working together with a dedicated team to change the lives of tens of thousands of Gambians, because KMC represents the country. I am from the URR, Woolly West, and you have people from every nook and cranny in the country resident in KMC. So what happens in KMC is a national matter. What is happening today is of fundamental national significance. And so a resolution and a decision made by the Lord Mayor of KMC in conjunction with the General Council is a decision made by tens and thousands of the residents of KMC. You have a mandate, you have an obligation to represent the best interests of tens of thousands of residents of KMC. And that is why you are elected. The government has a mandate. But the devolution of powers, as clearly stated within the Local Government Act, there are provisions, legal provisions, there are administrative procedures and processes that could effectively handle this apparent fiasco. But when politics supersedes national interest, it's myopia that triumphs over vision. And that is why today it is important for every well-meaning Gambian to come here and stand with the people of KMC. This is not a partisan conflict between Party A and Party B. This is a neutral ground where all political interests are represented among the residents of KMC. So, Lord Mayor, I'm here to express solidarity with the people of KMC and all the humongous development gains that were made. At the crux of this matter is corruption, allegations of corruption. We must tackle corruption at its root. When there are significant allegations against any public officer, not only law, but morality demands that you recuse yourself from the seat, from the environment, in order to allow an impartial atmosphere that will enable investigators to reach a conclusion that is fair and just to all parties concerned. That was what I recommended when I was accused of bribery allegations in the case of Similex. I recommended an extensive investigation, never in the history of this country, in order to determine my culpability, because I was confident that I am innocent of every iota of allegation. So I believe that if you are enmeshed in an allegation as grave as this matter, the government should be the first to support an impartial inquiry. And the government should be the first to follow due process. And I believe the process is unveiled here through the council, the General Council, under the leadership of the Mayor, is one that is reasonable, that is logical, and is one that should be accepted. I believe that the Local Government Act should be followed. There are relevant provisions. I am not here to advise legally, but then I believe that the ministry should advert its attention to the law. I would recommend both sides exercise restraint. I do not think it is necessary to send law enforcement agents here. There is no conflict, there is no war, there is no demonstration, there is no threat to peace at KMC or at the municipality. As former Minister of Interior, I am extremely concerned about sending law enforcement agencies in situations which are not warranted. And I believe that KMC councillors have demonstrated themselves in the best of manner in accordance with the law. I would urge the ministry to allow fair investigations to proceed, and I would crave the indulgence of the officers impugned to stay away until the investigations are fully completed. That is what will serve the interests of the Gambia. That is what will serve the interests of KMC. All of us public officials, including the Mayor, and I commend the Mayor's fight against corruption with council. And I support his stand to fight against official corruption. The taxpayers' money belongs to the taxpayers. The management of the funds and the resources of KMC must be in consonance with the overriding interest of the residents of KMC. And it is the obligation of mayor and council to ensure this happens. And I think due process is there, and we should continue to consolidate that due process. This is what will consolidate Gambian democracy. So, Lord Mayor, here, what we have to offer is one of support, it's one of solidarity for the residents of KMC. And we crave the indulgence of the Minister of Local Government to choose the path of dialogue, to choose the path of administrative justice, to choose the instruments of governance that will resolve this petty imbroglio. In conclusion, I would urge the ministry once more again to convene a meeting that will include all stakeholders in order to find a solution to this, but more so, not to engage in any action that will threaten the security of this country. Thousands and thousands of Gambians are worried today because they have seen the paramilitary, something that reminds us of 22 years of dictatorship. So in consolidating our democracy, we should resort to state institutions and to instruments of governance that will resolve inevitable conflicts that will always arise in the process of governing a country. We do not see any huge problem here. What we see, perhaps, is some flare of ego, for lack of a better diplomatic word. And I think in public interest, ego is not something that should surface. So I urge KMC to continue on the path of law and principle and administrative justice. And I urge the state not to overreach its hand. This can be resolved peacefully. There are laws in this country and there are procedures that must be followed. And when we follow these procedures and these laws, administrative justice will take place, and the interests of KMC residents, including my personal interest as a KMC resident, will be secured. For now, we are with the people of KMC, and we support that the interest and the resources of KMC must be protected as passed in the resolution of the General Council and implemented by the Lord Mayor. Keep it up. Best of luck. We will watch, not only watch, we will be involved in making sure the right thing is done. Thank you.
Has been called purposely for these issues that have been discussed by the new president of the Staff Welfare Association. And then as for my own side, I'm very much disappointed because I believe our own resolutions as the councillors will be respected. When we have the General Council meeting here, this issue came up here. We all agreed that we have to pass a resolution that the CEO should be suspended with the finance director and the other staff that have been involved in this saga. But now I think everything has been clear to all of us. What we have seen and what the president have just mentioned here is very, very disheartening. When you look at these staff here, they are our cleansing service staff. How much are they receiving for their salaries? These salaries have been deducted and deposited in their account. At the end of the day, when they went to find out, and when they went to the account to find out how much is left there, they have only $17,000 out of $9 million. Only few people are benefiting from this fund. And the CEO has just come. Her monthly contributions now total amount of $700. Now you went and took loan of $50,000. So what I'm saying here is our decision has to be respected. What has happened here in the morning is so disheartening. I was on my bed when I received call from the deputy mayor that councillors have to come because the paramilitaries have come here to siege. Is this what we are looking for? Is that what we call the new democracy or new Gambia? Is that what we are fighting for? Is that what we have voted for? No. I think corruption should be something that should be discouraged. When we came to this council here, we have seen what is happening. For past 22 good years or 50 years, something that had never been happening in the council, that's what we, the councillors and the Lord Mayor, have done. If you go to the market developments, you look at our markets. You look at our Mbali project. You look at the number of staff that have been working here. And we came here, we found some staff are receiving less than 1,500. But today, the minimum salary of the staff here is about $3,000. Definitely, we have done very well. I think our efforts will be complimented, but we don't expect something to happen. What has happened here today to put KMC on the siege? Look at, there's no work in the KMC today. There's the markets and the Bali project, they are all parked here. The trucks are parked. They are just on the weekends. And the people's rubbish are with them at home. People are calling all over. I think our decisions must be respected as councillors. We are here representing 500,000 residents of KMC. That's why we are represented. We are the watchdog for their taxes they have been paid. Few people, we should not allow people to come here and try to, mishandle those funds for their own selfish interest. We said no to corruption, and we always have to stand by that, and then make sure that we are going to stand with the staffs. These staffs are here. We pass a resolution. We order them to do anything they do. So when such things has come, we also have to stand by them to make sure that such things will stop in the council here. And we are saying no to corruption. And for CEO and the final director for them to come here, Lord Mayor, I have been saying this. If you rescind our decision, it's better we, the councillors, we resign and go back and tell our people that the job you have been given to us, we cannot do it. Let the minister. There are people between us. You have the local service commissions. Our resolution has passed on all these people. Why we are not getting respondents from the local service commission instead of the minister? Why they are special? This case became special to them. Try to force somebody on us that the staff say that they cannot, they have lose confidence in him or her, they cannot work with them. So I think they should do something else instead of trying to force these people on us. And that should not be allowed. Lord Mayor, we are going to stand by our decision, we are going to stand by our resolution, and we are going to stand by you people as a staff. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Lord Mayor, and thank you for giving me the floor. Good afternoon to my fellow councillors. The media houses here are present. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the president of the Gambia Bar Association, who just left, and also the representative from Tango, and also Galda team, led by the chairman, Lanisane, and also the former interior minister who just left. We acknowledge their presence and to come and show solidarity with the council. Today, we've seen a history or a drama that happened within the municipality, especially at KMC. Something happens that we've never dreamed of or expected to happen. That is the presence of the PIU within the municipality or within the council. We fought for this together and said never again. But we've seen the repetition happening now. The PIU officers present in the KMC today came as a surprise to the General Council. I think the ministry and the minister haven't exhausted their avenues to, interact or engage the council still to find a meaningful solution to this ongoing problem. We are not saying that the minister or the investigation team from the ministry are not entering the council. They are most welcome. We will welcome them with an open hand. But the staff that are on suspension or on leave should not be forcefully brought to the council. We said, let the investigators come. Whenever they need those staff for questioning or for any other thing to clarify, they can be called for. But they cannot forcefully bring those staff in the council. This is a General Council resolution, and they cannot go against that. And I am standing here to represent the community of Bakote, and I will still stand by that resolution that these people should not step their feet in the council without the authority or the mandate of the General Council. And my advice to the security officers, they should be extra careful. We've seen a drama not just happen. They said they are here on an executive order, and they came without any written document. They came without any communication to the authorities here at the council. Now the minister and the ministry said they are not even aware of their presence here. So I am foreseeing another TRRC happening. Let them be extra careful. Let them not be used by selfish politicians who are just using them or forcing them to do what is not even online. But because of their interests, political gain, they should abstain themselves from such. We here as council, we are representing the entire community of this municipality, and this decision we've taken is not partisan or political. It was unanimously taken by the General Council, and all the councillors are here. Whosoever have any objection to this resolution that we've passed as a councillor, I think you should come back to this General Council here and say, I voted for this decision, but now I understand something else is happening. Not to say what we've not discussed in this General Council here. This is a decision that we've all agreed, and if you have anything against that decision or your own decision, I think you can come back to you personally can inform the mayor and call for a General Council. So the minister also doesn't finish his avenues. I think he still have the right. The mayor is here. The Local Government Act gives him the power to call for a General Council meeting. He can come and sit here, have discussion with the councillors. Then on that day, he will be the chair of the meeting, not the mayor. The mayor will be seated down. So I don't know whether they are not reading their books or they are just doing things deliberately. But they have so many opportunities or arms to use in solving this problem. Lord Mayor and my fellow councillors, I still stand firm against any forceful, restoration of these people within the municipality or within the Carnegie Municipal Council, and I will stand firm by the resolution of the General Council that they are on leave and we don't need them here. What has happened here last Saturday during the Staff Welfare Association Congress, where they elected their new executive, we've came to realize that these people have even done worse to their own staff than the General Council. Out of their monthly contribution that they've been contributing for the past 8 years, the total amount accumulated to $9.2 million. They only found, $17 or $15 million in $15,000 in that account, out of 9 million plus. This is really disheartening. We cannot just allow things to continue. We stand here, the whole Gambia stood at Westfield and sing a slogan, never again, and we are seeing the repetition. Let us stand and strictly stood by that slogan, never again. Thank you, Lord.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan, Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin, ngeen xam ngeen fan la. Fii ngeen di ñëw. Suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon, xam nga doon xeesal ba laka xum. Éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw Skincare Plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentey tamit si ay dàlla waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold Tomatine I mean the list can just go on and on and on and on lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox skin care plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu nga United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses I mean we do shoes name it we do them Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème yu picca boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii
love like fire bring my yoboguma fire love like fire
Agada
ke mbijan aganyadi
albaka
mbaka important
yo nga transfer la sto
ya transfer la
ha code nyinji
okay person nsila id soto
sa soto sorry agada
mbijan ro
albaka
mbaka
bara alla service o tariya
mbare
mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariya
jannom yona forest de bureau Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere birim koyna fo kato
bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol nko kodo kiya bele to kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto ni kodi maraw jannam number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wala nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi mani domorol ni fana beteat Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moyo diat
apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji
yalo bu kanila ko la baraka
yalo ndel chosano lo
abaraka